Mr. Narendra Modi is India's Prime Minister for a third consecutive term, a rare feat achieved only by India's first Prime Minister before him. Mr. Modi says his government's priority is to make India a developed country by 2047, when the country would be celebrating its 100 years of independence from British colonial rule. Speaking to members of his coalition earlier this week, he said inviting more investments in India and improving people's quality of life will be at the top of the agenda in his third term. Analysts expect big economic reforms and a new push to make India a global manufacturing hub. But how many of these commitments his government is able to fulfill will depend on how Mr. Modi is able to manage his coalition. It's the first time in 10 years that he's having to rely on alliance partners, as his own party fell short of the majority mark required to win parliamentary elections in India. Political pundits say he'll have to make compromises, stroke some egos, and keep regional parties that make his government possible happy. Concerns are that these smaller parties could hamstring some of his reforms and could also destabilize his government if they pull support.
So coalitions in India are always kind of on tenterhooks because none of our politicians are really predictable. And therefore what they will do today and what they'll do tomorrow or what they'll do after 2 months is very difficult to say.
Mr. Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party says their coalition, called the National Democratic Alliance, is a natural partnership and different from the opposition bloc called the India Coalition, who Mr. Modi has branded as a group of opportunist politicians. The opposition parties have together won 232 seats in India's 543-member legislature, with BJP's main opposition party, Congress, nearly doubling its seat share from the previous election. That means the new Modi government will have a much stronger opposition across the aisle than in the previous 2 terms, another factor that could make Mr. Modi's third term a lot more challenging than its first 2. Ishan Garg, SABC News, New Delhi.